That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 198 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I am your other camp counselor. It's me, motherfucker. Huh?
Oh, dude, that's I hate that I like that song.
Yeah, no, because, you know, my wife, she is Swiftie, but we've been listening to...
That's not Taylor Swift.
No, but Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh, I'm going to say her name slow like I didn't know it.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I have a friend who went, oh my God, what's that brand? Abercrombie and Finch? I'm like, dude, you know the fucking name of it. Stop pretending like you don't know the name of the brand.
I'm not saying that I dislike Taylor Swift. I just think her newest music's a little depressing, and I like the more upbeat vibe of Sabrina.
Well, I was not like a fan of her music, and I wasn't a fan of her all really because when I saw her, I was like, she looks like a child pageant queen.
I could see that,
and it kind of creeps me out a little bit, and I was like, I just don't like this look. It's not my thing. And that song came out, and I go, God, I kind of like this song. It's not
bad. It's not bad.
Anyway, we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and Headless.
Oh.
But before we do, we got to catch up on any of the motherfucking news you might have missed over these past couple of weeks. David, do you want to start?
Oh, I'll start us off. Fox's Summer of Soccer begins with bass fishing instead of showing Switzerland versus Hungary. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's why, because they saw Hungary on the schedule and they went, we got to show these people some fish if they're hungry.
The thumbnail of this bass fishing show is hilarious, by the way. Oh my God. It's just a guy real excited, and he's holding a giant bass, and the bass is kind of like turned towards the camera, like it's looking at the camera. Here, let me see if I can turn this camera around and show you this. It's a great photo.
Like a bass looking at the camera. That is funny.
It's a really good photo.
It looks like a child. It looks like a child that was like trying to pose in the picture. Can you post that to the Instagram, please, or at least Photoshop that fish into somewhere in the picture? Because I know you.
That.
By the way, your last Instagram, Sam the Mad Hatter, that was fantastic. I was actually very impressed by that.
Yeah, I put some effort into that.
You don't get enough respect thrown on your name for that one.
No, and the second I make one little mistake, people call me out. They're like,
what's your mistake?
There was one post that I put sunglasses on someone, and I didn't entirely. Oh no, what it was I took a stock photo from like Amazon, and you could see the arms of the sunglass, whatever the part that goes on your ear.
Yeah,
the arms of it, like you could see the arms like through the lenses.
Oh, I see.
Like barely, and someone called me out on it. I was like, "Come on, man! I'm doing the shit on my phone. I have a phone app that I'm editing these Instagram posts on. I'm not going into goddamn Photoshop and doing it."
I was gonna say, like, I know the extent of like if people have seen the images. It's like they're like almost deep fried on how unprofessional they are. Like
I think I do a good job for the fact that it's a goddamn phone app, and I'm over there with my fat fingers trying to hold the phone. First of all,
I don't think people know that like you're kind of like you're running and gunning on those things. That's why I'm so impressed. I'm like you did that in probably one afternoon while you were just like bored.
Oh, I usually pump them out in like under 10 minutes. The part that takes the longest is finding the photos to like make the image.
True. But we gotta talk about this news story. So they didn't Fox didn't show the soccer game. It said they showed why? What happened?
Yeah. Well, this is Fox's Summer of Soccer, and I don't know why they just. They just didn't show the soccer game, and they just had bass fishing on.
I mean, I'm not one to talk down on fishing, but like watching it is a little different than doing it. Doing it's like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Watching fishing.
That's like golf for me. I can't watch golf on TV. I actually can't play golf. No. I get too bored, but same thing.
Yeah, watching those sports is a little more difficult. There's exciting sports and there's sports for having on in the background. I don't really know, like just white noise. But
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I ever get the whole watching golf on TV.
It's kind of cool to see them hit the ball so hard.
Yeah. And you know what? While we're on it, watching soccer on TV sucks too. It's fun to go to a soccer game, like go to the game and watch it, but watching on TV, you watch like 4 hours of people running up and down a field. The game ends 0-0.
I can't really talk because I used to really love baseball, but like baseball is kind of like that too. But at least like I don't know, it just takes so long to get the ball sometimes down to the goal. I'm like, make the field smaller, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's one crazy fact I learned recently was I think it's called like the goalie box. So like the very end of a soccer field where there's the big line, that's the same size as an NBA court.
No fucking way.
Yeah. That's how big the fucking field is.
I guess we're pretty ignorant to be even talking about soccer. Like we're not. There's soccer fans out there that are like hating us right now, but
for sure. But hey, you know what? Not everything is everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, we watch fishing. Anyway, I got another news story right here. As Four Top singer says hospital put him in a straitjacket after not believing he was in the Four Tops.
I saw that one. Who the fuck is Four Tops?
They're a quartet, man. They sing, what's it called? I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else.
That no, nothing. That's ringing.
Is it
nothing.
Sugar Pie Honey Bunch? Wait, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. Wait, what's their big fucking song?
Exactly.
Am I wrong?
Who are they?
They're a like a Motown like a duo. Like there's four of them and they like sing. You know.
Oh, they're old as hell. I can't help myself.
But is that the right song? Because sometimes.
I just Googled them, and then that's the number one that pops out.
Baby, I Need Your Lovin'. I think that's another one I know.
Yeah, that's another one.
But anyway,
it's the same old song, Stillwater. Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. Ain't No Woman. Reach Out, I'll Be There. Oh, okay. I guess maybe I do know who Four Tops is. I just never knew their name.
Yeah, well, no one knows. The hospitals don't either because it says lead singer of Motown's legendary Four Tops has sued a Michigan hospital claiming racial discrimination after staff members assumed he was delusional when he said he was in the group and placed him in a restraining jacket. So Alexander Morris, 53, who is black and joined. They put that. Yeah, we knew that. And he there's like one white Four Tops member. You're like, what the fuck?
Jonathan.
They're like three tops and a bottom. Like I don't know. Like what's the opposite of a? If the Four Tops are black, does the white guy is he the bottom? I don't know. So he joined the vocal quartet in 2018. See, that's what I think. Honestly, that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Where
this guy's he's like a new member.
Yeah, that's why I'm like kind of bullshit because when somebody goes, I'm in the Four Tops, I'm like, okay, you should be 80 years old then.
Yeah. So is this kind of
53.
like a Harlem Globetrotters kind of thing where like they're just always switching in and out?
I think it's like
I guess that's a bad example.
As long as there's one member in the Four Tops who is the original member, there can be three non-Four Tops members as long as they all sound like the Four Tops. You know what I mean? Because there's still it's like my dad saw the Beach Boys, and he said for every Beach Boy that was on stage, there were two guys standing next to them. One guy playing their instrument and one guy singing their part. I swear to God. So like the Beach Boys are so old that like they can't really do it. So I think it's like, as long as we have somebody there for like nostalgia's sake and being like, we saw one of the members in the Four Tops. You know what I mean? So
Have
but,
some
yeah, he
respect.
joined-
Name yourself something different.
I wonder how many members in the Four Tops are still the originals, but like I said, he was suffering from clear symptoms of cardiac arrest, chest pain, difficulty breathing. He's placed on oxygen, and then he said he informed. This is where I'm like kind of laughing. He goes, he informed a nurse and security guard in the emergency room that he was a member of the Four Tops and had security concerns because of stalkers and fans, and they didn't believe him. The suit said, "Okay, first off, no one is stalking the Four Tops. Come on, right? Am I wrong in that?"
No, but sorry, I'm on their Wikipedia, and the former members. So Levi Stubbs died in 2008. Ronaldo Obi Benson died in 2005. Lawrence Payton died in 1997.
Oh shit!
And
So we got one top left.
I don't even think. Oh wait, no, we have Abdul Duke Fakir, who has been with them since '53.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
How the fuck
So-
is he still going?
How old is he?
88.
Damn. Okay, so they're still legit, but this guy, you know why this guy threw a fit? He needs the press because the Four Tops are not going to be the Four Tops very much. They're about to be a Four Tops cover band. You know what I mean? Like that's once the last top is gone,
It's
then
no
they're
more
a Four
top.
Tops cover band.
No more top.
Yeah, it's not the what's the ship of Theseus or whatever.
Oh, when you
know
remove
the paradox.
you fix every part of the boat to the point. When does it become a new boat?
Yeah, like if you replace one part of the ship, one part at a time, is it the same boat by the time if you switched out every single part piece by piece, does it become a new boat or is it the same boat?
Yeah.
So I don't believe it is. It's same with the Four Tops. This is a Four Tops paradox.
But if it's the same crew,
Well, yeah, because like these three guys are technically now members of the Four Tops, but does that make them the Four Tops? I don't know.
this is the Four Tops Odyssey. the
So,
paradox.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like I said, they didn't believe him. Instead, the doctors ordered a psychological evaluation, and he was restrained for at least an hour and a half.
That's hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
like is that big of like even if he was lying, like does that warrant psychological assistance?
Well, I bet what happened was he was like, "I'm in the Four Tops." Here's my thing. This guy seems like he has like a. I'm not taking away because I don't know this man at all. I don't know anything about this situation besides what I read. But like, it seems like the only way that you would get to a point where you needed to be restrained is if you were acting violent.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like this guy has some sort of ego to him where he was like, "I'm
He's
in
got
the
some
Four Tops,"
demons.
and somebody went, "Okay, yeah, you were in the Four Tops."
Wait, which guy is this?
This is like Alexander Alexander Morris.
Okay. Damn,
But
he
he
doesn't
said-
have a wiki.
So, see, they couldn't even wiki him. They couldn't even Google him. But he said it was a terrifying experience to be in the middle of a medical emergency, to be placed into restraints, to have my oxygen turned off, my personal effects taken from me, and no help from the doctors and nurses because of the color of my skin. Racial profiling nearly cost me my life, Morris said in a statement. I just don't think, if anything, it's ageism. Like I don't know. I just don't think that they're maybe racially profiling him. But like I don't know. I wasn't there,
Yeah.
and like maybe he was like, "I'm in the Four Tops," and like this fucker's crazy. Maybe they were being like racially profiling, but yeah, it's kind of weird. And they put him in a straitjacket and turned off his oxygen. So I'm like, was he having a heart attack? Yeah, like what is going on? Like
The power bill was too high. They had to turn it off.
they said they wrongly assumed he was mentally ill when he revealed his identity as a celebrity figure. Okay, well he's not, but sure, okay. People are like, we didn't believe he was in the Four Tops because he's not 89 years old. He was born in the late 70s.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this guy has a straitjacket. Maybe that'll be like his new thing. He's gonna be like performing a straitjacket.
That's the intermission, is him getting out of the straitjacket.
Oh, this isn't cool. It says, okay, I take back everything I said. Morris asked whether he could prove his identity by showing his identification card, and the white male security guard ordered him to sit his black ass down.
Oh. All right, let's dial it back. We're gonna take all the jokes back. Jesus, man. It doesn't even matter if he's a celebrity or not. That's not okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. Come on, man.
Come on. What do you do? You're making us look bad.
But to be fair, it's a security guard. It's no medical professional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the fucking heart surgeons, like talking shit in the ER. He's like, shut your Four Tops not being ass up. You ain't. Shut your young ass up, you 53-year-old Four Tops member, you liar. Anyway, okay.
Wells Fargo fires employees over mouse jigglers. Have you seen these? Have you seen these mouse jigglers?
I don't know what a jiggler is.
So
like a juggler?
I found this funny just because I recently found out what a mouse jiggler is, and it's a device you put your computer mouse on, and it just makes it so your mouse is moving erratically around, so it looks like you're working when you're working from home.
I've seen the ghetto version of that, which is like a stick tied to an oscillating fan. Like it moves back and forth, and like the stick is connected to the fan, so it like moves the mouse back and forth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, these are. I saw these the other day, and I was just like, Jesus, like this is where we're at now. And yeah, Wells Fargo found out people are using them and fired them.
I think it's weird that that they have to make sure that your mouse is moving to prove you're working. Like, am I not allowed to like write anything on paper? Like, I have to keep my like. I understand keeping people accountable for working at home, but like, can't you just look at like their work? Like, can't you just be like work output? It seems like a broken measurement.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, I know in India they had a thing where they have cameras that can like focus on you, and there's like little boxes and it, like focuses on you, and when you get up from your seat, it begins timing you. And I'm like, these are false metrics to see if somebody's working. Because if you're a good manager, you would be like, oh, let's look at their output. But instead, you want to pick like an arbitrary, dumb metric, like, oh, let me see how long you've been sitting in that chair, moving that mouse. Like, that's brain dead shit. Like, just look at my work output. If I could perform the same amount of work output in 6 hours instead of 8 hours, like, what's the big deal? But they basically want to make sure you're sitting at your desk, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of bullshit. But
well, I mean, the biggest thing to take away is that we live in a society.
Some people want to just watch the mouse jiggle.
No, I mean, I brought that one up just as like a cautionary for any of our listeners who are using mouse jigglers that you don't get caught.
No. I thought it was sexual. I thought that was sexual in nature.
No, it did sound funny too. But yeah.
It does. Speaking of funny, 2 New York men die. Two New York men die falling into a manure tanker.
Ooh. You know, we had that one story of the Italian man who was crushed by a cheese. And that was a way to go.
Yeah, it was for all of you who didn't hear that episode, I think it was he had like in France and Italy, they have like these racks of cheese in like these cellars or like caves. I think the wooden rack collapsed and all the wheels of cheese fell on him in like a giant pile. And he was old, so he got crushed to death, I believe.
It was a good
But
death.
these guys,
This not a good death.
not a good death. So it's actually kind of interesting. So 2 men have died in upstate New York after falling into a manure tanker. Local police say one of the men attempted to retrieve a piece of equipment that had fallen into the tanker. I'd leave it. He passed out and fell inside of the tanker, police said, adding that the second man also passed out and fell in as he tried to help. The incident happened, and you're like, why did they pass out? The incident happened on Thursday morning, Kirkland, New York. I wonder if that's where Costco is.
No, Kirkland, Washington.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Kirkland, New York. Look at that. Decomposing manure can produce a number of gases, including methane, ammonia, and carbon dioxide, which can be deadly to people and livestock when ingested in high concentrations, according to the Farm Safety Association. These guys, Nathan Duty. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? That's not okay.
It was the prophecy.
Nathan Duty, 33, and Tyler Memory, 29. According, whatever, New York Daily News. They're taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. So a farmer and 13 cows, a similar incident happened previously where a farmer and 13 cows died in Wisconsin in 2016 after they were overcome by methane or sulfur oxide from a huge manure holding tank. In Iowa, father and son died after being overcome by the fumes in a hog manure pit. So I guess don't go huffing shit. It's crazy. I know they always say, like, by cutting back on red meat and, like, cow consumption and milk and stuff, that it, like, helps the earth significantly just because of how much methane cows produce from farting and, like, the shit. But, like, I had no idea that, like, the fumes from a manure tanker would be enough to literally make you pass out.
Yeah, that's news to me.
Weird. But
Yeesh.
Not a good way to go.
No.
There might have been some cheese in there, though, so maybe let's just say they got crushed by cheese.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
They drowned in cheese.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got one more.
We're all caught up, right?
I got one more. And this one is for my boy Charles Barkley.
Oh, he's retiring, right?
He is retiring, yeah, unfortunately. That's a shame.
He's retiring a second time, we should say.
Well, yeah, he's retiring from sports analytics and commentary.
It's fine. He's going to have like a fantastic podcast. Like, just wait.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, so this one goes out to Charles Barkley when no one showed up for San Antonio's World Naked Bike Ride on Saturday.
What?
I guess LA doesn't do a World Naked Bike Ride, does it?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
So they do it in Portland, and it's basically when like everybody just shows up and there's like a huge parade and everybody just gets completely naked and rides a bike.
Oh, well, they have beta breakers in San Francisco, beta breakers, and that's pretty fucking raunchy. It's literally just I don't want to say too much because I don't want to. It seems like it's mainly just like old gay men with boners walking around in public.
Like a nudist beach.
Yeah, but they can walk around like the city and like people, I'm not even kidding, they're like doing like they're fully there. They're fully there and like there's people like getting whipped and stuff and you're like, what is going on? Like we went in high school and walked it and I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, that changes you, huh?
From that day, I can never, I don't know what I could never do. I haven't figured it out yet, but I can't do something.
There's something you can't quite do, huh?
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, so that one goes out to Charles Barkley just because his...
how's that Barkley related?
Go ahead and just Google, like, Charles Barkley highlights San Antonio. Some really, really funny videos out there of Charles Barkley talking about San Antonio.
Yeah, doesn't he make fun of their beach or something like that?
No.
Or like I don't know, San Antonio might be landlocked, but I know that he was like talking shit about a Texas beach and being like, that's like, it's just like wastewater that washes up on shore or something like that. Yeah, I think he hates it.
No, Charles Barkley loves bringing up the big old women of San Antonio.
Yeah. I have seen that clip too, I think. Right.
Oh, there are multiple moments of this.
I can't believe he gets away with half the stuff he says on TV.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's really funny. Anyway.
Yeah,
all right, should
we're
we get
caught
into the
up.
stories?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Now, David, the Northwest Territories of Canada are almost virtually uninhabited despite its enormous size. The Northwest Territory of Canada contains a population of about 45,000 people, despite being the size of California and Texas put together.
Oof.
It's a huge chunk. It's a little bit to like the right of Alaska. You know how Canada has like nice square slices, rectangular slices?
Uh-huh.
It's like it's a top left slice, and
Okay.
As we all know, like most of that northern part of Canada is rough, either wilderness or cold or both, or little islands everywhere. It's not very habitable. But within this territory lies a valley known on a map as the Nahanni Valley, a beautiful national park reserve that again is rarely visited because of its harsh living conditions and its inaccessibility. So it's I think it got national park status like not like somewhat recently, I'd say like in the last 20 years or something, but it's just like this giant park that is just in the middle of nowhere, and we'll get into it. But another reason could be that people don't visit it could be because of its strange and mysterious history that has earned it another name most people in the area know it by, the Valley of the Headless Men.
Ooh.
Ooh, spooky. So, let's get into it. So, unlike most national parks, there are no accommodations for any visitors to this area, even to this day. Without roads even being an option, visitors are forced to access the park either by boat, plane, or by foot. It's like hiking many, many, many miles.
Yeah.
And back in 1904, that's exactly what happened when brothers Frank and Willie McLeod journeyed from Edmonton, Alberta, to the Nahanni Range in search for gold. So,
Gold will always get you.
gold will get you. So this was during the Yukon Gold Rush, I believe, which is like more of the northern gold rush. But
I believe it's pronounced Yukon.
Yukon. Hi, Yukon. Anyway, so like I said, they're searching for gold, and when you're searching for gold, especially in the early 1900s, you were on your own. Nothing was really established. Even the West, you know, it's they had some stuff, but if you went out in the wilderness and something happened, you might not be coming back. All in the search for treasure. So just to preface the story with some lore, I don't know if it's Dene or Dene people, but that was a Native American tribe. The Dene people, who have inhabited the area for centuries, have stories of another tribe in the area known as the Naha, for which the Dene named the Nahanni Valley after, meaning the river of the land of the Naha people. So you might be thinking like, you know, why didn't the Naha name the tribe that? Well, we'll get into why the Dene had to name it. So the Naha were a warlike tribe living in the high mountains and descending into the lowlands to raid and kill. So they became the main foes of the Dene people. That's why they ended up naming it. They're just like, that's the Valley of the Naha, so we're going to call that. And they were greatly feared by them. They became the main foes of the Dene people and were greatly feared by them. The Dene spent years in conflict with the Naha until one day the Naha vanished. without a trace. The Naha were nowhere to be found as the Dene people became confused, if not skeptical. To this day, no one knows where they went. Some believed they had migrated somewhere else, others that they succumbed to a disease and died out, but some think that they still lurk in the valley, hiding in the shadows. To this day, the Dene people claim that the valley is haunted, if not an area of strange occurrences. But let's get back to the Headless namesake before we go any further. So, during the Klondike Gold Rush, that's what I meant to say, not Yukon, Klondike. The Klondike Gold Rush.
Klondike. What would you do for a Klondike Gold Rush?
Hell, I'd chop off my head.
The thing is, that's what's gonna happen.
Well, no one chops off their own head, but it's really hard. Have you
That
tried?
would take dedication.
Oh God, a lot of strength. You got to keep fighting for that one. So during the Klondike Gold Rush in the early 20th century, brother Frank and Willie McLeod canoed into the Nahanni Valley in search for riches, and surprisingly, they found it, as they were able to return to their home at Fort Laird with gold in hand. Actually, that's not 100% true, because what I actually read was that they found a ton of gold, and they're like, oh shit, yeah, this is awesome. They hopped in their canoe to go to Fort Laird, and while they're traveling down the river, their boat like broke in half, and like all of their shit fell into the river, including the gold. And they're like, oh my God.
Too heavy.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was. Maybe just
Too
shitty
heavy.
canoe.
Gold too heavy.
So what ended up happening is they went, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go cut down a tree, build another canoe, which they did. And they built another canoe out of a log. And they went back to their spot. And when they went back to their spot, they were not able to find any of the gold anymore. And they're like, what the fuck? So they basically had to go all the way back to Fort Laird with like no gold. And they're like, God damn it. Well, we want to go back because we know there's gold up there. We need supplies, and all of our supplies fell into the river. So
I just want to know where the gold at.
Well, it's probably
You
in
see a
the bottom
leprechaun up in the tree. Say, hey.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, how much gold is in the really deep parts of the river? Right?
Yeah.
I gotta get me some scuba gear.
Yeah. Some bricks.
Yeah, I put some bricks in my pocket.
Yeah, way down.
But these guys, they went back 2 years later in 1906 to go, try to find all their gold again, or at least find more gold, if not the gold that they lost, because I don't think they're gonna find that. But they went with another man by the name of Weir as well to search for more riches. That was the last time anyone would see all three of them alive. So after they went up in 1906, it would be 2 more years, in 1908, before a search party found the skeletal remains at an abandoned camp. Usually this would seem like a normal occurrence in such a dangerous and unforgiving area, but the state of the bodies raised questions as both men were found with their fucking heads missing. They got their Klondike bar, though. So the brothers were positioned in a way that seemed as if they were asleep when attacked. One of the guys was hanging halfway out his tent. And the other brother, his arm was outreached, reaching for a gun that was propped against a tree at the time of his death. So the butt of the gun was just, it was leaned up against a tree, and he went for it. And he was headless. So Weir, on the other hand, was missing altogether. And I said, many have chalked this up to one of 3 things, with whether it be, David, I'll let you guess the 3 things, What do you think? If you came across that, what do you think, what would be your best guess?
We're in Alaska?
Yeah.
Wendigo?
Okay. Nope. Some
That's
people
not
thought it
one
was
of them? Okay.
Some people thought it was vicious wildlife. Maybe that's a Wendigo for you.
I thought you were gonna let me guess 3 times.
Well, I just didn't know how long this is gonna take.
Wendigo, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2.
Vicious wildlife.
Vicious wildlife. That's too obvious because vicious wildlife wouldn't just take a head. You know, they would take a few chomps. You'd find some bites.
That's what I
Not
was
vicious. It's definitely not vicious wildlife. Unless
Oh my god.
it could be a bald eagle. Because they can just pop your head off clean. They come in and they grab you by the roots of your hair and they take the neck just snaps. So
Must
I'll
have
go
been
a bald.
two bald eagles in
Yeah.
in synchronicity.
Hey, you know what? Bald eagles got 2 feet.
Doing the splits while I was grabbing these guys.
And number 3, Kenny Chesney.
So the actual were vicious wildlife like bears or wolves.
No. No way.
Greedy prospector who maybe killed one another.
Yeah, but the head sales aren't great. What's Prospector gonna do with that? Because some skulls. You gonna do some Temple of Doom and make some brain meal?
Or Kenny Chesney.
Kenny Chesney.
You got it. You got the third one.
You're a real bastard.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, the third one was a possible Native American tribe protecting their land from invaders.
Oh, you really set that one up. Fuck.
I know.
I didn't think about that.
Because if anything, like, come on, you want the head for the prize, right?
Stupid. You set that up too.
Because like my whole thing.
I was just thinking Chesney.
Hey, Chesney, I had that wicker hat on my mind, that wicker cowboy hat.
Really fucked that one up.
Anyway.
God damn.
So my whole thing is like, yeah, if it was a weird guy, he disappeared, and they're like, okay, he probably murdered him, but like, why would he cut the heads off and like, throw him in the river unless he really hated him, and that was like, fuck you.
Could have been an accident.
I hate when that happens. Maybe they ate bad beans.
They just come off so easy.
When you get constipated enough, sometimes if you eat bad beans, your head just pops off because the gas got nowhere to go.
Yeah. Well, if you have a bad blockage in like your gut, you'll start burping farts and throwing up poop. It's true. It's a true thing. Happened to my second uncle. God rest Lyric's soul. Second Uncle Lyric.
Burping farts
in a bad way.
Burping farts and throwing up poo is my album that's about to drop this summer. You get at your local Tower Records.
I just wish he would have skipped my wedding before coming with that going on, Fucking Lyric.
I wish he didn't try to cut the cake.
I wish he would.
Sorry.
He would have just got off the dance floor like I asked him to.
So these theories made sense, and most would be content with one of these. They're like, maybe it was one of them, maybe it was a combination. Maybe the prospector killed him, and then some bear came along and wanted a tasty brain.
Nope.
Eagle?
Yes. Bear? No.
But that people would have thought this was fine if there weren't for another incident in 1917, about 11 years later, when Swiss prospector Martin Jorgensen was discovered decapitated next to the remains of his burned down cabin.
I thought you were gonna say next to like a eagle's nest, a bald eagle nest up in a tree.
I can't wait for them to find that eagle's nest with all them skulls in it.
Great insulation for the winter.
Most metal eagle's nest ever. So, so people again chalk this up to greed. They're like, okay, this guy went up there, somebody found his gold, they cut off his head, and they burned down his cabin. It would make more sense to just stab the guy and then just throw him in the cabin and then burn him up and not chop his head off. Like, why are their heads missing? That's what doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But again, in 1927, an outlaw prospector on the run from the cops by the name of Yukon Fisher was in skeletal form on the banks of Bennett Creek, quite close to the place where the bodies of the McLeod brothers were found in 1908.
Damn,
Again,
how'd he
like,
do that? He just like turned into skeletal form?
What?
Like he just like powered up and turned into skeletal form? Just chilling?
No, he didn't do that. He died. He died first. He couldn't do that. There's no way. Have you seen Jason and the Argonauts?
I thought he just had like some secret ability. They could just go skeletal form.
Do you think that would pay off anywhere? What a bad ability. They're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found the walking skeleton in the graveyard instead of the man.
Yeah.
I was almost scared for a second.
Like when people turn their homes into haunted houses. Like
Okay, you got like a good part-time job.
Yeah.
You could be like a good like Jason and the Argonauts reboot. You know the ones, the skeletons with the swords.
What the fuck is Argonauts?
Jason and the Argonauts. It's like a old 1950s movie where it's like some guys fighting fucking a bunch of skeletons with like, what are those swords that pirates have? Rapiers?
Yeah.
No, but
Sounds cool shit.
Are those
I
the
didn't know
ones?
anything about this.
Wait, but what's the ones that look like Saudi Arabian
That's
swords that are like
sitar?
really thick? Oh, okay. I think they
Or is
had
that an
sitars.
instrument?
What the fuck's a rapier then? Wait.
Rapier
No.
is like a pirate sword.
Yeah, no, not this one. Not this one. This is like, because the rapier has like the ornate handle that like kind of protects your hand.
Yeah.
Like the
What you're
hilt,
thinking
that's
of,
like-
it's I don't think it is sitar. I think that's an instrument from India, but it's
That is.
close. It's very close to that word.
Yeah, it's, oh God. Let me see. Middle Eastern sword.
Arabian
It popped
sword.
up. It's called the Persian shamshir.
Shamshir. Sitar, Shamshir, they both start with the S.
The
Give me a
origin of
break.
the word scimitar,
Oh, hey, there you go.
or Turkish killage, which is, I think, is another one. Anyway.
We're not talking about
Anyway.
Turkey.
Well, I need me one of them if I'm gonna turn into a skeleton anytime soon.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. So this man was not he was not a superhero who turned into a skeleton at will. He
Lame.
was a dead person whose body was on the shore of a creek.
Okay.
I don't want there to be any confusion about this story.
Yeah, I confuse myself, so I'm sure I confuse other people.
Yeah. So the cycle continued as the years went on. As in 1928, one prospector named Angus Hall ventured ahead of his party and was never seen again. That could have been anything. In 1931, prospector Phil Powers was found murdered and burnt up in his cabin. That's kind of connected to Yukon Fisher's whole fucking...
Yeah.
No, not Yukon. Who's the guy that got burnt up in the cabin? Martin Jorgensen. He got burnt. His
Martin
cabin got
Jorgensen.
burnt up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in 1936, two prospectors, Joe Mulholland and Bill Epier, were never found again. The only thing remaining being their burnt up cabin. So a lot of burnt up cabins, which is another fucking... It could have been called the Valley of the Burnt Up Cabin, but I think the Headless Men really has a better ring to it.
Yeah, that really tells people to stay out.
I actually, the cops are actually after me right now for insurance fraud
Burnt up cabin.
because I cut off my own head, and I think they know I did it. Get it?
Okay,
It's
Shakespeare.
it's like a burnt up cabin joke, but I
Yeah.
didn't burn down my own cabin. I cut off my own. Okay. So, one of the strangest occurrences didn't include a decapitation or a missing person, though, because in 1921, when prospector John O'Brien and his partner went into the Headless Valley to find some gold, they separated for a couple days so John could go down the river and check their traps. John didn't return for many days, and when his partner went looking for him, he finally found him. and John was found frozen to death,
Ooh.
sitting in front of a previously lit campfire with his matchbook in hand. He wasn't slumped over in pain. He just looked like he was flash frozen to death in an instant. There was no pain on his face. There was no discomfort. He was sitting there like he was enjoying the fire, and I guess he was dead.
Did they try
Kinda weird.
thawing him out?
They said, don't touch him. He's going to turn into a real good skeleton soon. And
Okay.
this is his cocoon before he goes full skeleton form.
That'd be fun. A little skeleton with a box of matches.
We're all a little skeleton.
I've never seen that. Like
What?
a little skeleton sitting holding a box of matches. Like that would be really cool.
Do you know what I always say, which I think is a really funny thing?
What?
Like, if you think about graveyards, they're just a bunch of skeletons wearing suits and dresses, which makes me laugh.
Yeah.
That's kind of
They
funny.
they
I
look
know
like they're all dolled up for prom.
Yeah. It's like say cheese and die Goosebumps, where they're on the cover
Yeah.
with the barbecue shit on
Oh yeah.
and the chef hat. But like
Oh,
people
yeah.
always go, the suits and the dresses decompose too. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's a skeleton
you're
in a
ruining the bit.
tuxedo. Yeah, it's a skeleton in a tuxedo, and that's what it will always be. Okay.
Fun time.
Do they still do the thing where they cut the tuxedo down the back? So, like, when the zombie rises up, everybody can see his butt like a nightgown?
I think they stopped doing that in '93.
They did.
Yeah.
After the Great Skeleton War.
Yeah. After the skeleton war, they
There was-
stopped doing
yeah.
that. It was too time consuming. You had to hire the
It
tuxedo.
was in the
cutter.
treaty. They demanded it. They said, this is bullshit.
Oh, no,
we need
they
fully...
deferred.
We need
They deferred to it. They said no more.
Yeah, they said we need fully functional suits from Men's Warehouse. Men's Warehouse had a huge account that day.
Well, yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love the way you
They
look.
were- Everybody was like, the humans were like, Louis Vuitton. Like, what about like Louis Vuitton or like, or do you want like Tom Ford suit? And they said Men's Warehouse. They said we're economical. We
Well,
like.
not just that.
like
But
the-
have you?
They
have
said
you
they
ever
like the
felt-
customer service.
Have you ever felt like a scratchy fabric on your bone? Way better than some soft like designer thing.
Yeah, you want to know that the suit's on the bone.
Yeah. Oh, I love it when the suit falls off the bone. That's when you know it's done.
I don't know why that is so funny to me. Oh, the suit just falls right off. Oh, look, the suit just falls right off the bone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this bone's
That's
done. It's done.
That's a T-shirt where two skeletons are talking, and one of them is facing the other one, and you can see that the suit is cut in the back all
It's
the way
coming off-
down.
Yeah, it's coming off the bone.
And he goes, "I like it. The suit just falls right off the bone." And then the say cheese and die guys in the back, because he's like grilling.
He's cooking. Yeah, he's got to be cooking.
Yeah, he's cooking ribs.
Wasn't there a dog? Well, I gotta look this up real quick. See,
I think there was a dog one time. If I'm not mistaken, in the history of the earth, there's been dog, right?
no, I thought there was a dog on the cover.
Well, dogs don't have bones.
Yeah.
Okay, why does everybody not believe me when I tell them that dogs and cockroaches have more in common than dogs and cats? Dogs don't have bones. They're all exoskeleton.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you crack them right open, the goo comes out.
Oh, that's soft dog meat.
Yeah, soft dog meat.
It's
There
good
is
if
no
you soak
dog.
it in butter.
There is no dog on Say Cheese and Die, but it does say one picture is worth 1,000 screams.
That's good.
I remember this bothering me that the skeletons had hair.
They have hair?
The wife skeleton and the daughter skeleton have hair. The dad skeleton has a chef hat on and a beer while flipping a burger, and the son skeleton appears to be eating a burger with a backwards hat on. So I can't confirm or deny that they have hair, but the mom and the girl have hair.
I want to see that meeting of like the Goosebumps cover people and being like, the guy screaming, be like, "How the fuck are we gonna show it's a woman skeleton if I can't use the hair or the boobs?"
Yeah.
And the one guy's being like, "We can look at the hip widening. If it's got a wider hip,
The
it's
dad has a
female
beer
skeleton."
The dad does have a beer belly.
Okay.
Which
So
that
he was
shouldn't
allowed
be
to have the
bald.
beer belly?
Yeah, that
That's
shouldn't be
body
bald.
shaming.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I got to keep going with the story. I'm going to go down a skeleton Goosebumps hole. So, where was I? The guy flash froze to death. Okay. So, there have been...
time out real quick.
God.
Sorry,
Oh,
this
shit.
is important because you know how they did a Goosebumps TV series, right?
Dun, 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 dun.
You know who the main character was in the 1996 episode of Say Cheese and Die?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, holy shit. How'd you know that?
I watched some Goosebumps recently.
All right,
I like to watch
moving on.
people I like to watch people recap Goosebumps on YouTube.
That
So I'm
does
like, I'm not gonna
surprise
watch this,
me.
but I want to see you make fun of Goosebumps a little bit.
Okay.
But
What was the one with the superheroes?
Yeah, you know,
that one
Jay-
scared me.
remember the one with the oh my god, dude! I told you we're gonna go down this fucking hole. We can't do this. But there's a Goosebumps episode where the pool thing, it looks like it's like a skeleton with like meat hanging off of it, comes right off the bone. But he's like in the pool, and like in the beginning, a kid drowns in that pool, and that's Jay from This Is the End. You know,
Jay
Seth Rogen's
Baruchel?
friend. Yeah. And he's in that. There's been a couple other like kids that have popped up that have had gone on to have like normal careers and stuff like that, but I can't remember all of them.
Tobey Maguire?
Oh, really? He was in one of them?
Yeah, he was in the Mouse That Won't Die.
Oh. I know that.
I made all that up. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, because it's a Canadian show, so Ryan Gosling and Jay Baruchel are both
Oh,
Canadian.
Okay.
So that's why I think they were in it. But
Yeah.
anyway, so this guy got flash frozen the fuck up. So there have been other stories of very strange occurrences, like a woman named Annie Lafrette. Sorry, this is funny. Named Annie Lafrette, who also went missing in the Nahanni Valley in 1926 after separating from her hunting party. Many months later, an Indian man by the name of Big Charlie was sleeping. They're like, "Oh, you're Moon River. That's a song. Your Wind Eagle. Your Fire Stick." That's an Amazon product. Fuck. Wind. And then they're like, and they got to the final guy and they go, "You're Big Charlie."
What if he was like just the tiniest dude?
What if his name was never even Charlie?
Yeah, his name was Steve.
He's Small Steve, but they fucked with him and named him Big Charlie.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, an Indian man by the name of Big Charlie was sleeping by the river when he heard small rocks rolling off of a cliffside and falling into the water. When he went up to go find the source, he claimed to have witnessed a woman climbing a hill on all fours while totally naked, seemingly having lost her mind. When she turned around to look in Charlie's direction, she heard something. He was taken aback by her parents, claiming that she looked possessed. He ended up ducking out of sight before she could find him, and she went back to scurrying up the mountainside after that. But it's like, fuck, that's terrifying.
Yeah. I hate it when women scurry up mountainsides.
Away from you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a tendency.
Scurry
Why
a little
do-
closer.
Why do women always scurry away under the refrigerator like a cockroach? Women don't even have bones. They're all exoskeleton.
Yeah, it's goo.
You want to elaborate on that?
No.
Okay. So, there have been many logical theories on how these deaths happened. Some say but some of the locals claim that the explanation lies beyond normal logic. Some claim that the Native American tribes were aware of giants and or, you're going to love this, a Bigfoot that lived in the area that they would give offerings to, such as tobacco, in order to keep the peace, which is Bigfoot rip your head right out your fucking asshole.
Yeah, if you don't have if you don't have a dart for Bigfoot, he'll rip your head off.
Yeah, you gotta
have a
light
Lucy
that
for
shit
him.
up,
Yeah.
and you gotta have a light too.
Yeah.
If you don't have a light, you're just as fucked.
Yeah, you're toast. Like what is he
So-
gonna do? He's covered in hair. He can't carry a lighter with him.
No, it's dangerous.
Dangerous, ridiculous,
He's got like
unnecessary.
a flint. He's got like a flint thing. Like he has like a cigarette on the floor and he's like lighting flint and like blowing on it, like trying to just get the tip of the cigarette lit. Then he gets it lit and he's like, and he's like, just like, he sucks it down and like one, it just like burns up in one inhale.
Looks at you really
So-
sadly. Bigfoot used to be 3-pack a day.
They raise prices.
Bigfoot
So
can't afford.
others claim that prehistoric creatures still dwell in the area, such as
yeah.
mastodons
Okay.
or bear dogs.
Bear dogs. Okay.
Apparently, that's like a thing where it's like dogs the size of bears. They're like kind of like wolves, basically, but bear dogs. And
Yeah.
any other prehistoric predators who have left tracks and or tusks in their wake to be found by trackers. Apparently, they have found like mastodon tusks up there and stuff like that because
Hell
it's
yeah.
so untouched by people that
Yeah.
like shit like that still exists up there. Some believe that ancient and evil spirits still roam the valley, cursing and killing anyone who steps foot on their sacred ground. And others state that Nahanni Valley is the entrance to, you're really going to like this, to the so-called Hollow Earth.
Fuck yeah. King
As
Kong.
the valley is dotted with subterranean caverns, some 250 of them, and many remain unexplored. And, of course...
To this day?
Yeah.
Let's go.
People don't go up there. Like I said, you have to hike like 20 miles to even get to like the valley, probably.
Easy. I've done 20 miles in a day.
No, I know, but like it's also like extremely hard weather conditions.
I don't care.
No
I've got
trails.
guns.
I'm gonna shoot a trail into that fucking dirt.
I'm going to shoot a campsite up.
Just
That sounded
blowing
bad. What I meant to say is I'm going to shoot my gun and a campsite will appear. Which also you could say that sounds bad.
Oh, okay. When I shoot my gun, angels appear. The voices. When I shoot my gun, skeleton pirates appear. So, and of course, some people claim, of course, that UFO and alien activity is responsible for such murders because aliens need their precious metals, gold, and their precious heads, science.
That's it, man.
To
We're starting
explore.
a Patreon and people are going to pay and we're going.
Get David and Allie. David and Allie. Oh my god! Just
You fucked up your own name, you dumb shit.
I reference our friends. No, because I read Valley. I was gonna say get
okay.
David and Alex to the Valley of the Headless Men.
Yeah.
So many parts of the park and of the valley have been closed due to the government claiming that it is to protect the landscape, but many people believe that they did this to protect any visitors who might just end up wandering into the wrong area and paying the price. Not
They're
an arm
hiding
or a
something.
leg. What?
They're hiding something.
You fucked up my last sentence.
Start it over.
Okay. But many people believe that they did this to protect any visitors who might just end up wandering into the wrong area and paying a price. Not an arm or a leg, but a head for whatever watches from the hillside. There we go.
Love it.
That's it.
I want to go.
It's really pretty. Like, you could Google it. There's not like a ton of pictures because I said not a lot of people go there, but the Valley of the Headless Man.
I'm saying we go. Worst comes to worst, we come back with satchels full of gold.
Seriously. I mean, worst case scenario, we die. Best case scenario, I get so rich that I come back, I blow all the money, and then I want to die.
And we move to Dubai.
Oh my God, we can buy those swords.
We'll be so rich we can carry the swords around everywhere we go. And nobody can say anything.
Yeah, they would arrest you for drinking a beer before walking into a bar with a sword. I'd be like, what? And they're like, you're holding one of the illegal things you can't have in this preschool.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to teach.
I guess I can't have a beer in a preschool either, but fuck. If it's cool kids, cool preschool.
They didn't post on the door I couldn't bring in my Arabian sword and my ice cold IPA.
I didn't see a no small batch brew sign. I didn't see a double hazy IPA sign in the fucking window.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, Tobin. We got a little bit of a sad one here today. Might be hard.
Oh my God.
Might be hard to do the old hee ha ha's, make goofs and gaffs, but we will try our best.
Let's just cover Goosebumps.
I know. I'm like, when I got towards the end of this, I was like, man, this is just like not like very fun. It's an interesting story.
And every story I cover, I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And then they're like, then they raped and killed 40 children. And I'm like, I'm not covering this.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. So this is the story of Otto Warmbier.
Wait.
You know who that is?
Yeah, he got North Korea.
Yeah.
You didn't cover this?
No. Did you?
I don't know.
I don't think we covered this.
I don't know. I don't think so. I just know. Wait, did we?
I don't think.
Maybe not. Did. I don't think we did either. But I just know a lot about this already. Sorry, I'm not going to try to interrupt.
All right. So Otto Frederick Warmbier was born December 12th, 1994, in Cincinnati, Ohio. The same place Harambe died. Otto was the oldest of. I know. Dagger in the heart. Otto was the oldest of 3 children born to parents Cindy and Fred Warmbier. Otto attended Wyoming High School, where he was well known as a popular kid, and graduated in 2013 as salutatorian. Which, if you're like,
is that?
Which, if you're like me and Tobin, and never came close to winning any academic awards, it basically means he was the second highest ranked graduate in his class.
Oh, no, sorry. Valedictorian or bust, dude.
Yeah.
Saladictorians go to North Korea.
Hey.
I'm going to stop.
Otto continued his education with attending the University of Virginia. Go Cavaliers! I'm not a Virginia fan. I don't know. Just felt like doing that.
So David's a Virginia fan. Okay, cool.
While at Virginia, Otto was pursuing a double major in commerce and economics. During his college experience, Otto signed up to do a semester studying abroad in London.
You see that cat that's like, I go to London. I go to London.
He go to London. And
what
this
the
is
fuck
where
is that accent, dog?
I don't know, man.
You're like, I go to London.
Oh, I go to London. I'm losing
I could turn into a skeleton at any time.
During his London exchange, he was given the opportunity to visit and tour one of the most bizarre and mysterious places in the modern day, North Korea.
Ooh, yeah.
Otto and his tour group went into North Korea and went around touring various locations. I typed this up quick. Okay, and everything seemed to be going okay on the trip and whatnot. Then January 2nd came around, and it was time for the group to depart back to good old London. And and Otto was arrested at the Pyongyang International Airport while waiting to board his plane by North Korean officials. Usually not a good thing.
They're like, we have on record that now I'm making them Nazis or something.
Yeah, what? I mean, it checks out.
They're like, you snuck in a warm beer into our country? They're like, no. I snuck in a sword, bitch.
They're like, oh, that's okay. So Danny Grattan, a British member of Otto's tour group, witnessed the arrest, saying, no words were spoken. 2 guards just came over and simply tapped Otto on the shoulder and led him away. I just kind of said quite nervously, well, that's the last time we'll see you. There's a great irony in those words. That was it. That was the last physical time I ever saw Otto, ever. Otto didn't resist. He didn't look scared. He sort of half smiled back at us. The rest of the group, confused, lined up to board the plane, unsure of what the fuck just happened. Then an official walked up to the terminal microphone and announced Otto is very sick and has been taken to the hospital. And what? Did you not know that part?
Well, I know why he actually got arrested, but like I just think it's so ridiculous. Like, why the fuck? I just like that alone. I mean, I'm not saying anything that we haven't heard before. North Korea is like wildly corrupted, but like, why not just be like, we've arrested Otto for something instead of being like this man who we literally was like, I'm fine, and no one ever heard anything bad about like him suffering from anything. Is like, this man is sick now. I'm like, it's just so fucking shady just from the get-go.
Why lie?
I know.
Just say they committed a crime.
Yeah, exactly. People were like, oh, okay. But if somebody goes like, oh, he's very sick, and be like, actually, he's not. And they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, no, we're backed into a lie. Just like, don't lie in the beginning. Just be like, yeah, he broke the law here, because he kind of did, I guess, for them. But you'll get into that.
And so the rest of his tour group boarded the plane and left. North Korea's Central News Agency, also known as KCNA, announced that Otto had been...
can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I think if I was sick, I'd rather get on that fucking plane out of North Korea instead of going to the hospital where it's a guy with one fucking saw and like a chloroform cloth.
And from that perspective too, like if I was with some person I didn't really know that well, and they're like, oh, he's sick, he has to stay, I'm like, he can come with us. Like I can get sick. I would rather get sick than leave this guy here. Like,
yeah, well, I thought they meant like not like sick, like I thought they meant like he has appendicitis or something. But still, I'm like, I'm willing to risk it. Like, put me on the fucking plane, get me out of here.
Yeah, there's no way they would know he had appendicitis. But yeah, as someone who has had appendicitis, I've got the scars to show it.
He won't fucking shut up about it, man.
North Korea Central News Agency, aka KCNA, announced that Otto had been detained for a hostile act against the state without going into much detail. This immediately became world news.
No, I thought he was sick.
I know, right?
Did he get detained for being too sick?
That is the biggest crime in North Korea, is to be sick.
A head
cold is a death punishment.
The death penalty. I like the death punishment more.
Yeah, that sounds more like what they would say. So immediately this became world news because, I mean, for the most part, whenever anything happens with North Korea, it's world news, especially when like an American gets arrested there.
Who's there right now?
Oh yeah, he's looking for more missiles to blow up Ukraine. So North Korea refused to elaborate on the accusations for a full 6 weeks. But leaks kind of came out here and there that had something to do, saying that had something to do with Otto and his stay at a hotel during his tour. A press conference took place on February 29th with Otto in attendance, reading from a prepared statement. In his statement, Otto confessed that he had attempted to steal a propaganda poster from a restricted staff-only area of the hotel on the second floor. Taking the poster down in an attempt to take it home as a souvenir, which, if you ask me, if I was North Korea, I'd be happy if someone was trying to take my propaganda home with them, Spread the news, baby.
Did a good job on the poster.
Good poster. Hey, take it home. Show it to all your friends. Come join North Korea.
We have one carrot that everyone takes one bite of.
The poster said in Korean, "Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong II's patriotism." Unfortunately, damaging or stealing such an item with the name or image of North Korean leaders is considered an extremely serious crime by the North Korean government.
Can I say this too?
Yeah.
Why do I associate the word patriot with strictly being a United States of America?
Same. Feel exactly the same.
He's like patriotism, and I was like, that's our word.
It does feel like that, and I don't know why. I just always assumed that was like an American thing, because the Patriots, Tom Brady.
Not only that, but like the movie The Patriot, the Mel Gibson movie, and like I don't know,
guy
it's
gets
just
his head taken out with a cannonball.
Oh God, guess what valley that was in?
Death Valley.
No, fucking. Did you listen to my? Oh my God. That was a good guess, but no, it was the Nahani Valley. Valley of the Headless Men, okay?
Yeah.
So.
Is that your point?
But. Yeah, when I hear patriotism, I always just go like, obviously it's just
red,
a
white,
word
blue.
to show like. Yeah, it's weird that I associate it so much with America in a way, but I don't hear a lot of other countries using patriot in the way that like Americans do. So I wonder.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So to this day, it is still unsure if the confession was forced or genuine, because after this day that he was seen confessing, Otto was never seen conscious again. But it was clear that at this time, Otto was in great distress. There is also a history of previous prisoners of North Korea who, since being released, said that their confessions were false and forced to be said. Otto's confession at the time also stated that he had plotted to steal the poster at the demand of his church back home and the Z Society, a secret society at the University of Virginia.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this baffled both organizations because when that came out, people news journalists would reach out to them, and they were just like, "We have no idea what the hell they're talking about."
It's clearly it's torture led. It's like so obvious. Like they're fucking pulling off his fingernails, and they're like, "We know." That's what I was gonna say, is that they thought he was a spy because they're so fucking paranoid and dumb that they're just like torturing this man, being like, if we torture this man and he doesn't give us something, we look bad. So we need to torture him into giving us something that we could be like, see, he has a secret society, and like
who do you belong to? And he's probably like finally just like, I don't know my church, like a society in my college, like trying to get him to say like CIA or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in a frat. They're like secret society. Okay.
Yeah. This baffled both organizations, who denied any influence in these claims. which is another reason why people think Otto was forced to make the confession, which was written by North Korean officials. On March 16th...
He wrote it in Korean.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this says. On March 16th, 2016, a few hours after the U.S. envoy Rich Richardson, holy shit. Oh wait, no, Bill is William. Never mind. That would have been Dick Richardson.
Maybe he's rich though.
Maybe. So Bill Richardson met in New York with two.
Dude, you're gonna love this movie I have called Richie Rich. You're gonna fucking lose your mind.
I always love like Will Williams, Chris Christopherson.
Yeah,
it's a fun time.
I'm a Chris Christopherson fan, regardless. But
yeah, you are.
What does that mean?
You fucking incel.
Sunday morning coming down.
So, Bill Richardson met in New York with two North Korean diplomats from the UN office to press for Otto's release. Otto was tried and convicted in North Korea's Supreme Court, and he was charged with...
It's a dog in a hat.
Sorry, what? A dog in a hat?
That's their Supreme Court.
Oh. They're like, yeah, his tail's wagging, he's guilty. So yeah, he was charged with subversion under Article 60 of North Korea's Criminal Code. The court held that he had committed a crime. Boy, that word got really fucked up when I typed it, and it did not autocorrect it. I don't know what that says.
Say it. Just say it how it's written.
Pursuant.
Okay, we'll take that.
What could it be? Pursuant to the U.S. government's hostile? What the fuck is that supposed to say? All right, whatever.
I have a really good joke that I'm just... I have
Say
a
the
good
joke
joke
while
that
I try to
I'm...
figure out what the fuck this is supposed to say.
Okay, I had a joke that said that the North Koreans came out and they go, we have two updates. We have good news and bad news. The bad news is that our interrogation program has really been dropping the ball lately and has really gone overboard when we didn't really want them to. The good news is that our skeletal pirate soldier program is going fantastic.
All right.
I was gonna wait till the end.
That's good. So I'm just gonna skip that whole part. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to say. I typed that quickly.
Probably not even vital to the story.
So the puppy got fixed last week, and I'm pretty sure I wrote this with him on my lap with the cone hitting me in the face. So
he wrote it.
That word got away from me. In a bid to impair the unity of its people after entertaining it as a tourist. This had to have been a quote. All right, fuck it. Evidence at his trial.
Happening?
I don't know, man. Evidence at his trial, which only lasted a single hour, included his possibly forced confession, CCTV footage, fingerprint evidence, and witness testimonies. The CCTV footage with poor quality and extremely low resolution showed a man who was identified to be Otto, which from what I saw in the clips, like, shit, it might not even been him, entering the staff-only area at 1:57 a.m. and removing a poster from the wall and placing it on the ground before leaving. So what he's basically being imprisoned for was taking a poster off the wall and placing it on the ground. He didn't even take it with him. He just put it on the ground.
Oh, he didn't take it?
No. In the footage, he just takes off the wall and puts it on the ground and walks away.
I've seen the footage, or I've seen like at least like a picture of him, like looking at the poster and taking it off or whatever, but I didn't know
Yeah,
he didn't
no.
take it.
He never took it. In Otto's confession, he had said that the poster was too large to take, which is why he left it. Also in his confession, Otto said, I never should have allowed myself to be lured by the American States administration to commit a crime in the country. I wish that the United States administration never manipulated people like myself in the future to commit crimes against foreign countries. I entirely beg you, the people and government of the DP, I guess that's supposed to be the North Korean thing, for your forgiveness. Please. For your forgiveness. Please. I made the worst mistake of my life. Which I feel like a lot of that was like weirdly worded that it didn't really seem like
I mean, if you think, oh my God, I can't even like entertain the idea that he wrote that. It's completely like he's a fucking dumb college kid who was like, oh, I'm just gonna take this. Like I would have been like, I want a North Korean poster to put on my wall. Like I'm not even far off from being him. If I was, yeah, that's the thing. I would have taken like so much more shit and be like, yeah, this is cool. And the thing is, he's like, I'm a deep state agent who got manipulated by the government, when everybody's like, no. It's like, it's so clear that these North Korean people were just like, we will torture you more unless you go on live TV and say this, because their whole agenda is to try to make America look like they're trying to spy on them so they can make America look like the bad guy and they're the victims, or they're the ones being infiltrated. So if they act in a certain way, it's retaliation. And they want to make an example out of this kid. And it's just like, it's so fucking disturbing on so many levels that I'm like, I don't even know how this is a real country. Like, how is South Korea not just like rushed in and been like, yeah, we're going to like take over. Like, you guys don't know how to run a country. Everyone's starving here.
That's what's crazy to me is like, I don't buy any of their like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when they try to show, well, not just that, but like when they try to show off like how powerful they are, like, oh, we've got all these missiles and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think they do.
I think they have some missiles, and like, sure, they could shoot a missile at us, but I mean, we have constant surveillance on North Korea. If we see
we shoot that shit down
country,
so fast.
Yeah, exactly. And like the fact of the matter is that we just don't want to have, the reason why dictatorships exist is because there's civilians at like in the crossfire. Like, do we want to cause excessive, like, you just kind of hope that a coup might happen with these people where it's like, okay, I hope you guys take over your own country and get these people out of here, or you're just hoping that a sane leader eventually gets in there and makes big changes. But it's not, I guess, other countries I know. Well,
the only way it's ever gonna like, the only way North Korea is ever gonna go down is if like if someone just takes them over. Like, I don't think there's ever gonna be like a leader that just randomly shows up and is like, oh, hey, we're not going to be like insane. Like, we're going to be normal.
I don't think
like,
he has any kids though. So.
Really?
Weird.
I don't know. Well, we're not down here though. Well, the thing that I was going to say that like sounds so fishy about his statement is like the way he keeps saying the United States administration. Like, what the hell is that? I've never heard anybody say that before.
Because he can't pinpoint anything. He's like, he can't say CIA. He can't say FBI. He can't say,
the government.
Like
just
DA.
not. He can't just say the government. Like, what is the administration?
He's keeping it as vague as possible because, like, the administration is. He's basically saying whoever's in office right now convinced me to, the Biden administration convinced me to do this, or the Trump administration convinced me to do this. It's like, no, that's because. They just want to they want to be able to, they worded it like that so they can blame the people in power at the moment so they can use that as leverage for something. They're like, we don't want to just blame the U.S. in general. We want to blame the people in power right now so we could possibly use that as a pawn or as leverage to get something we want or to retaliate in a way we feel is necessary. and justified. Weird.
Yeah. So at the end of the trial, Otto was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. Human Rights Watch, which is a group, called the hearing a good old-fashioned kangaroo court and described the sentencing as outrageous and shocking. It was clear to everyone that something was not right here. Otto's parents, Fred and Cindy, met with numerous Obama administration officials along with other countries' ambassadors, trying everything they can to get their son back home safely. At the time, Obama's officials pleaded with Otto's parents to lay low and let their government handle it. They didn't want their parents to make publicly make a disturbance or like a remark that could insult North Korea or anything like that. You know, they were trying to play it safe, just be cool about it.
And this is also like some Brittany Griner shit, right? It's the same shit. Same shit.
Pretty much.
They just basically want to make an example, and they want leverage. I bet Putin was like, yeah, like, you know, the Russians got back the fucking Lord of War.
The Merchant of Death. I cannot believe.
Yeah.
We got fleeced. That was the worst trade of all time.
I know. It's kind of funny that she's a WNBA player too. It's like she actually got traded in the profession where she gets traded.
She got traded professionally and like personally.
Yeah, that's weird.
So some off the books and off the record stuff happened, and on June 13th, 2017, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson announced that North Korea had released Otto to the States. Tillerson also announced that Tiller also announced that the State Department had secured Otto's release at the direction of President Donald Trump, which Donald said, bring my boy home.
Otto,
you're gonna bring my boy home. We're gonna go get some McDonald's.
Here's the thing, Otto. We have posters here. Many posters, big posters.
How about this, Otto? I'll get you a poster of my own.
Do you like Mike Jordan jumping across the pane? Who am I doing now? I'm like, greatest poster. Otto, I heard they took out all your teeth. I
dialed in my Trump at one point, and I've just completely lost it. I don't know what happened. I've been practicing it enough.
He's been out of the news cycle too long. I don't hear him every day anymore.
Yeah.
Now you gotta do the Biden. The Biden's a little bit more top of mind right now.
Master Lock. I used to love Master Lock as a kid.
Master Lock with the puzzles, the beep boop pop, beep boop beep.
As a kid, I used to make puzzles with Master Locks, beep bop beep boop. As the North Korean government were preparing his release, they made a little statement that was kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, Otto had contracted foodborne botulism very shortly after his sentencing and has been in a coma ever since taking a sleeping pill. For 17 months, Otto was secretly in a coma without North Korea telling anybody.
Oh, so he just didn't want to work at the work camp. Oh, you sleeping still? Wake up. We got work to do.
Still comatose, Otto was evacuated from the hospital in North Korea back home to Cincinnati, arriving the 13th of June. He was immediately taken to the University of Cincinnati's medical center, where doctors attempted to discover what actually caused the coma and how severe his status was. The physicians working on Otto at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center said that he was, in quotes, in a state of unresponsive wakefulness, commonly known as a persistent vegetative state. So Otto could breathe on his own and blink his eyes, but outside of those two things, he was just not there.
Whoa, really?
Zero awareness of anything going on, and this included like language. So this was a situation where you could ask you couldn't ask him a question and say blink once for yes, twice for no. Like there's just nothing going on.
No cognitive ability.
Exactly. So aside from his vegetative state, the rest of his body did not seem to be harmed, like at all. Like no missing fingers or broken bones. The medical records received from North Korea showed that Otto had been in the state since April of 2016, only 1 month after his conviction. North Korea also provided some MRIs of his brain showing severe brain damage. According to his medical team in the States, brain scans revealed that Otto had suffered extensive loss of brain tissue throughout his entire brain, consistent with what would happen to the brain if it was deprived of oxygen for too long. Doctors also noted that there had been no sign of Otto contracting botulism, but they also had no evidence of torture either. His neck and head appeared to be perfectly normal, along with the rest of his body. They even scanned his body for like signs of healed fractures or any like small fractures throughout his limbs, but no sign of newer injuries showed. And added, for someone who had been bedridden for more than a year, his body was in like phenomenal shape.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you get like bed sores and stuff like that. Like
They exercised him to a certain extent, probably.
yeah, they like somewhat took good care of him in a way. Like in a way.
Maybe I spoke too soon about the North Korean hospitals.
Oh no, just you wait. Otto's dad held a press conference on June 15th, but declined to answer reporters' questions as to whether or not the neurological injury was caused by assault, saying that he would leave that answer to the doctors to confirm or deny. That's a smart move. I mean, that's got to be a hard thing to do. Like, you've got to be so emotional and, like, ready to blame anybody.
Of course.
In any situation. He added that he did not believe a word that North Korea said about what happened to his son and expressed warranted anger at the North Koreans for his son's condition, saying, "There is no excuse for any civilized nation to have kept this condition a secret and denied him top-notch medical care for long." But like, I'm obviously not defending them, but like also like based on what the doctor's saying, like he could have been in way worse shape.
True. I think once like whatever happened, they're like, oh fuck. I think they're like, we need to like try to keep him. Like I think they saw that it was a bad look. I think whether the botulism was accidental or whatever happened was covered up and made it look like botulism, and somebody fucked up and went over the top with it. I think they were like, oh no, we didn't want this to happen. Like, we didn't want to kill him. We wanted to keep him here and make an example, but like killing him makes them, they lose all their leverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes them look bad. So
yeah. So the time finally came where Otto's parents had to make the hard decision to pull their son's feeding tube, requesting that the feeding tube was removed by medical professionals. Otto died at the hospital at 2:20 p.m. June 19th, 2017, at the age of 22.
damn.
The nation was heartbroken, but ultimately understood his parents' decision. I mean, when you're that far gone, like there's really no like quality of life.
Oh yeah.
North Korean officials said their country was the biggest victim with Otto's death. As a result of a smear campaign stating their treatments were as good and humanly possible. They were as good and as humanly possible. They said, although we had no reason at all to show mercy to such a criminal of the enemy state, we provided him with medical treatments.
They had to double down on that.
Yeah, we provided with medical treatments and care with all sincerity on a humanitarian basis until his return to the U.S., considering his health got worse. Hey, these North Koreans are real dickheads, huh?
Like I believe them when, like I said, I believe them when they're like, we actually tried to give him the best medical care. It's like, yeah, because you didn't want to deal with the smear campaign. If you never put him in prison in the first place, you wouldn't have to deal with it. But like I said, whether it's an accident or somebody going over the top with it, it's like, dog, like you guys, whatever conditions you had him in, were not good enough, and you basically tried to, you know, save him at the end, but you didn't give a fuck about him in the beginning. So it's like, you know.
And like, just a reminder is the thing they're blaming him for was taking a poster off the wall and putting it on the ground.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Just wanted to like throw that. Just wanted to bring that back up. In hindsight, no autopsy was ever performed. But doctors speculate that it was possible sleeping pills could have caused Otto to stop breathing. If he had botulism and was paralyzed by it, and if he stopped breathing, then that would have been the cut of oxygen, which would have led to like his brain damage. Although doctors found no trace of botulism, they cannot rule it out with the given time frame being so long, since it was like over a year. Like he could have had it, but who knows? It is possible the evidence of the illness could have disappeared. Some more on the extreme side of speculation. Writer Doug Bach Clark with the extremely well-trusted and very loved GQ suggested that after his sentencing, Otto may have attempted suicide with sleeping pills, leading to his coma. So in April 2018, Otto's family sued the North Korean government, which is typically not a thing that you can do. Like civilians can't just like sue other countries, but since they had a good lawyer and they were able to like list it as a act of terrorism, they got the go ahead. And North Korea did not contest the case in court, but did stick to their guns in saying that they did not torture Otto. In his body exams, Otto's teeth seemed to be fine and normal, but it was not until his dentist showed up and compared his newer scans to his older scans.
This is what I heard.
In which he determined that some of his bottom teeth had been moved backwards as if he had been hit in the mouth.
Oh, I've heard like these crazy stories where I was like, they removed his teeth and put them back in. Like that, I don't think it works like that, but I thought that.
No, basically, I think like some of his bottom teeth were just like they had like a different like decline backwards to them, so it seemed as if they had been like kicked in or something like that.
I was hearing old wives' tales.
Yeah, there was also a bizarre scar on his foot that doctors like didn't know what it was, and it was later determined to be the result of a torture technique with electric shock.
Oh. Yeah, well, we all know too. Like a lot of these, whether it be American or Russian or North Korean, like people know how to torture. Well, yeah, you could torture somebody. There's a ton of different methods to torture somebody that don't leave like visible scars. It's like it can be healed. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can whip somebody with something and you could heal them enough to make it look like there was no torture.
Well, yeah, and it was over a year, so. Like, who knows?
Yeah. They have like doctors who are like, oh, how do you prolong tortures and to not kill somebody? Like that was like a big thing in like World War II, and it's like horrible.
Yeah. So on December 24th, 2018, Chief Judge Beryl A. Howell ordered North Korea to pay Otto's family $501 million in damages. But with no enforcing jurisdiction over North Korea, there was no way to actually force them to pay the family, which they did not, which that sucks. But in July 2019, Otto's family filed a claim on a North Korean cargo ship named Wise Honest that had been seized in Indonesia by the U.S. government in May of that year for allegedly transporting and selling North Korean coal in violation of international sanctions. So basically, like, a huge ship got taken, and they're like, oh, we want it. Like, they owe us this much money. Like, it's in our possession. Give it to us, kind of thing.
Did they sell it?
Yes. And I didn't get a price on it, but a judge awarded Otto's family and actually another family who had attempted to sue North Korea for the murder of their son, who had been kidnapped from China. He was a U.S. citizen, but he was in China and got kidnapped and died in North Korea. And so those two families got to split, like, the big ass boat money. Again, I didn't get like a dollar sign on that. So I don't really know how to end this one. There's no happy ending. I guess for the time being, just don't go to North Korea. And if you do, don't take a poster off the wall and lay it on the ground.
No,
Like,
fuck that. Don't go there. It's not
just
worth
don't
it.
go
Like,
unless you got a rifle in your hand, I guess. I don't know.
They'll be like, oh, you're wearing a shirt with something that we don't like on it. That's propaganda. You're a spy. I'm like, you're so stupid. Like, I can't.
What if you just said, like, you're so stupid, and they're like, oh, I didn't think about that.
I don't want to be like, maybe I'm being
and then
hyperbolic
everybody
with this.
clapped.
I don't want to be hyperbolic when I say this, but like, do you think that, like, what do you think Kim Jong-un's like actual like intelligence level is? Like, do you think he's smart, or do you think, like, he might be a smart guy? I don't know, but like the way he looks like a giant baby, and like the shit he does, it's just like it seems like he's like a dumb person. But like I said, I think it's just all like the propaganda, or like the way I think of North Korea and being like, that country's ran so poorly. Like, he can't be intelligent. He must just be like greedy to the point where he's just like, as long as I have what I want, I don't really care about anybody else. That's the vibe I get, which is very childlike.
Well, that's always a hard question for me to answer, if I think someone's like smart, because I know a lot of people that are incredibly smart with like one thing and just the dumbest people ever when it comes to something else.
True. Yeah, specialize, you know?
But I would like to think that, like, his father, like, forced his life path to succeed, like, you know, being the next leader, you know? Like, I would hope that he actually did like the due diligence to like put his son through the correct education to be a leader.
Yeah, but we know how rich kids end up. They're either very competent or like the biggest idiots on the planet. There's like no in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. I never met the guy, so I don't really know. It's hard to
not
say.
A nice
like,
guy. I met him.
It just seems like everybody there's so brainwashed, from what I know, and it's such a bizarre place. It really like blows my mind to think that there's a place like that in the world.
Yeah, they have like fake fucking supermarkets. Like, they put fake vegetables in the windows and shit like that.
They have fake hills.
Like, what?
Yeah, they have they have fake mountains to like make it look better.
Like, his father, or was it him, said that he got like 18 hole-in-ones while playing a round of golf. Like, I like don't I'm like, that's what I'm like. Oh, you're a stupid person. You're a stupid person that you would think that anybody would believe that. That's like almost statistically impossible. It's not really impossible. Funny? It's improbable. What?
Or are they just really funny?
Oh, maybe they're funny. Maybe this is a big goof.
It might be a big goof and a gaff, but I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. Huh.
I don't know. There's so like, I just hope in our lifetime like something happens and we get to like find out. Like I'd love to watch like an 8-part, 10-hour documentary with like of the fall of North Korea and like that actual like tell all of everything that's going on. I'm just like so interested by it. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, I need like his right hand man to defect and like tell us everything. We'll give you asylum.
Dennis
We'll let you live on
Rodman's
that
not gonna
fucking
defect.
ship.
Dennis Rodman wouldn't
Oh
do
my
that.
God, Dennis. Man, what talk
the
about it?
worm.
That would be the best doc. Just get everything he says.
It's got to be one of the best NBA nicknames ever.
He looks like.
The worm.
Anyway, we'll end on the worm. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love telling you stories, and we love when you stick around and you listen. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram. Click the link in the bio for merch and to listen to this, but you already are listening to this, so you found it. If you want to rate, review, subscribe, that would be great as well. Share it with a friend. And if you want to send us an email, send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. David, do you have anything to say before we get out of here? I'm so hungry right now.
You look hungry.
Thanks. Hope we don't get botulism.
Somebody get this boy a Big Mac. That's
what you had. Okay.
That's what's gonna end on. Yeah.
We have Big Mac. Otto, come home. We have Big Mac.
I love a Big Mac. No other burger in America comes close.
Otto, come home. We have rodeo cheeseburger, onion ring, and a barbecue sauce. I can't even fucking do the Trump anymore. I'm fucking annoyed.
I've lost it. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm gonna practice this all week.
McNugget.
I think it's because I'm sitting.
Yeah. I need to be leaning forward at a 45-degree angle.
I love these Pringles. No, it's worse. It got worse.
It got worse. Anyway, and don't forget to stay strange.